Beyond the stars lies a web of pearls, each gemstone a miniature world unto itself. Upon these worlds interconnected, our stories are told, and the fate of creation hangs in the balance. Welcome to the Titan's Gift. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die Presents Titan's Gift Season 3, Episode 2. I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by 3/4 of the Seattle crew. Let me make their microphones work, because they need a workout too. How is everyone doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
I don't understand microphones working. If it's not warm and toasty, I'm not sure if I should be talking.
Toasty. You need them warm.
I'm doing okay.
Like Pop-Tarts in our minds.
There you go.
Cold and
I was doing okay. Now I'm hungry for Pop-Tarts.
Right.
Pop-Tarts brand breakfast
is not the sponsor of our stream.
But it is part of this complete breakfast.
Sure.
Where all of the things in the picture are the complete breakfast, and the Pop-Tarts exist.
100%. Yeah.
They're fun, friend.
And it worked too. Like, man, I remember going to my parents and being like, "But it's part of a complete breakfast."
No, 100%. I think part of this complete breakfast was a conspiracy by the frozen concentrated orange juice industry.
Oh, okay, I could see it.
Wasn't the food pyramid like inverted from what it actually should be?
Oh yeah, 100%. They're like, "You should have tons and tons of grains." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, well, because like back in the day when it was really hard to survive and you had to plant grains to like live because bread was, sustenance, that was really important. Not so much anymore. And then they're like, "No, you should eat lots of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Less meat and no sugar."
Bring on the meat sugars. All right. The meat sugar sweats. All right.
Candied bacon. The base of any stable pyramid.
Nice. How's everyone doing? I haven't seen you guys in a while. I know we did a bit of a pregame chat, but
My dog caught a rabbit the other day.
Ooh.
And that was really sad.
Yeah.
We were out on a walk, and it was the little one. It wasn't the big one. It was like the 9-month-old. She bolted like around a fence, and I couldn't see her. And she like went under a bush and dragged a rabbit out and like brought it back to me. And we were like, my wife and I were like freaking the fuck out. We're like, "Oh my God, Miko, like you got to drop it." And she was really good. She just set it on the ground while it had its little heart attack and like dragged itself back under the bushes. It was really sad, but there was like no blood, no fur, no anything like that. She just like picked it up and brought it to me.
It might have just been stunned, and it'll.
Yeah, we went back for it. It wasn't there. Like it left, and so we called the animal control. We're like, "Hey, like heads up, this thing happened, but I think it's fine."
Yeah.
So. But that was probably, I think, the most eventful thing that's happened since we last chatted.
Welcome, Quarantine 2021.
The most exciting thing was a rabbit.
3 weeks and it was an exciting dog walk from that.
Luke, what's going on with you, man?
I started, on your suggestion, started playing RimWorld, and man, it is sure a fun little base builder kind of game.
Well, you kept on describing like these games that were circling around the traits that RimWorld was. I don't remember the games you were describing, but yeah.
Frostpunk, a Dawn of Man. There's like a ton of like just base builder games. I love those games.
It's been a while since I've played RimWorld, but the if you get kind of bored with it, the one good mod that I really enjoyed was the zombie mod.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's still active or whatnot, but basically you have to build your base quickly, suffer all of the challenges of like survival, and then at night the mobs of zombies come and they start off a couple at a time, and then they just turn into like bigger and bigger mobs. So
That sounds fun.
yeah, it's a good one.
I've got the vanilla extended mod list. So like mod lists are so easy on Steam. So I just like went with the super popular vanilla expanded one. It just gives you like, I don't know, more weird little things to build, I guess.
Yeah, more guns and more turrets and yeah. You can go crazy with mods to that game. It's been
Yeah,
a
it's
while.
fun. It's so fun. I got my guys. They're doing good.
Cool. Is Saris playing that as well with you, or?
No, she's not playing this one. She had some like medical stuff going on, so she's doing good, but she was resting all week.
Okay, hope everything's all right there.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Matt, what's going on with you, man?
I've got a pet related story. My wife and I were driving home one night and saw a cat sitting kind of in the middle of the street and slowed down, and it did move out of the way but slowly. And I thought, they ought to, if they're outdoor cats, they ought to be afraid of cars. And I went out and it was super friendly, like not afraid of people at all. And I was like, come on, this is an indoor cat. So I scooped it up and put it in my back office with a litter box and some food and water for the night, and took it into the vet in the morning to scan the chip. And after a couple of calls, I figured out who the owner was, and they live about 20 feet from where I found the cat, half a block from my house, and it's an indoor-outdoor cat.
Yep.
He just like stole it from their front door.
Yeah, so I kidnapped somebody's cat from basically their front yard,
Swoop.
and then returned it to them the next day.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, give it a little adventure. You got some food. You got some pets.
Did it interact at all with your cats, or?
No. So we brought the cat carrier out front, put it in the cat carrier, and then I walked around the neighborhood to see if anyone was looking for a cat, and then we took it in and stuck it in the back office. I don't think they actually saw it, but I'm sure they smelled it and heard it, because that whole night they just sat on the stairs and like 20 feet away from the office. They wouldn't even go near the office door. And then for at least 2 days afterwards, Jasper, our biggest, most adventurous cat, he may not be our most adventurous, but our biggest cat, who often comes in and plops down on me, he wouldn't come into the office for like 2 days. So, and this cat was tiny. This cat was like maybe a 7-pound cat.
Yeah, it
13.
was scrappy.
Yeah, it was just this tiny little cat, and our cats. It spent enough time in my office and rubbed on enough things. They're like, nope, that's not our office anymore. It belongs to the new cat. Guys,
the phantom smell of the new cat.
You got to come in here and claim this place as your house.
All right. For me, I'm just gearing up for 2 moves. So 80% of my stuff goes to Canada at the end of the month. 20% of my stuff goes into a small apartment here in Seattle, and I switch between 2 houses going forward. So.
You crazy.
I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy.
That once. Who does that in the house? Like...
I have my citizenship oath ceremony on March 19th. Now that I've passed the test, so 19th I will be both citizen of Canada and U.S., which is exciting.
Congrats, buddy.
Yep, yeah, it's good, and I'm looking forward to this summer. If everything goes all right in the next month and everything is on track and it looks like it's going well. Summer in Sudbury, Northern Ontario, hang out with the Ontario guys, and then I'll be back this fall for the beginning of hockey season, which is amazing.
That sounds so awesome.
Yep.
That sounds like such a great plan.
Doesn't really change our game schedule. We'll still play on Tuesdays, and we'll still play with the other group. It's just where my background will be will look different at the end of the month. And then throughout the year. Okay. Why don't we do a quick recap of what happened last game when we played Season 3, Episode 1, Cabin Fever. looking at you, Max. I think it was named after Thurgus, to be honest.
That's right.
The professor experiments with a planar binding spell. Oh yeah, conjuring a quasit demon and forces it to question the abyss. I'm gonna put that in quotations. Thurgus experiencing cabin fever, pushes the party to meet with Bukerbeck. Bukerbeck explains that the Orazini Academy was burned to the ground recently, and Vencarlo, who has information about the powers of the Queen, was asking for the party via Crescendercroft before he went missing. Thurgus springs a magical trap at the Goathorn Smithy, getting a bit singed. The party teleports to the halls of somnolence and converses with Patriarch Vladimir about news of the Dream Realm. Thurgus urges the party on, visiting Vencarlo's home nearby, where a dangerous trio lay in wait. And you realize that these three were Red Mantis assassins, a order of Onkwani that worship some fell, perverted version of an inherited god.
Set, right?
That Set may have created out of jealousy with what had happened to the gods that gifted both the inheritor races as well as passed on their power to gods like Halcyon, Baishipe, Bompa Damba Damba, Araya Share, and others. The group teleports back to the Villa Malavella. Zephyros catches up with you in the J.E. Emeritus lounge at the Villa Malavella, and I'm just going to go to the conversation layer. Actually, no, we've got a Villa Malavella map. Why don't we go there? It's always a chore finding your tokens that everyone's always spread out.
Some tunes playing in the lounge, maybe the.
So there's Zephyros in the lounge. If you could drag your tokens to the lounge, that would be great. Yeah. Oh, you're all in the occult parlor. Okay. Pixel in her new form. Christopher bouncing on a couch. Mockernam is turning into a bunch of different but very large cups. They look more like vases, but he's calling them cups. You're pretty sure that maybe he's trying to make a cup for Zephyros.
Can I make anyone a drink? So wait, is it morning already? What time is it? Seems so long. My memories. Is it evening when we just got back, or it's the next morning after? Right?
It's up to you. You could say it's the evening when you got back, which means that you guys have still are recuperating at least from the battle with the Red Mantis assassins.
Oh, I'm pooped. That was great.
Yes, a bit tiring though. Do you feel satisfied though after such a long preoccupation with the indoors?
Satisfied is a bit of an interesting word. I wouldn't say I'm done killing, but I feel better.
Okay. Mockernam turns into like a rhinestone covered chalice. It's like a big chalice. It's gaudy looking.
Oh.
Don't take any offense to this, but I'm never drinking out of you.
Oh. Big tongue comes out of the chalice and licks the side of it. Why not? I've got stuff you can drink for keeping, but I guess if you drink it, it's for eating.
Yeah, no, mate, sorry.
So, you fought assassins?
Yes, the Red Mantis, unfortunately. The most deadly of assassins in all the pearls I've heard. Religious fanatics, you see. They will not stop until they kill us, unfortunately.
Were they there to kill you specifically?
Oh, a good question. Fereosae, what was your read of the situation?
Fereosae's right now whispering something to Pixel, as Matt will unmute.
It's a bit unclear if they were here to kill us. Certainly they were after Vencarlo, but since they went after the Goathorn Smithy, which is our place, it seems pretty likely that at least one of us is on their chopping block.
They were lying in wait too when I got in there, trying to hide up in the ceiling.
It seems as if we are the next step in the trail of clues they're following to some end, likely investigating our own dealings. We are notorious.
Yes, we did seem to off several of the Queen's friends, so she may have hired these assassins. They do seem to be working. I think they're for sure working for her.
What I do not understand is why the Queen would want this plague. Why this Queen would want... Do you think she is involved with this lady that was eating the souls?
It seems relatively straightforward to me, assuming, of course, she is the daughter of he who shall not be named. She's come here to disrupt the realm, sow chaos and doubt, feed off the evil powers generated.
Huh? And you want to know why we need to get the fuck out of here? Huh?
Did you say something, Fergus?
Nope.
We can't hear the gentleman.
I like the fact that you're like, you might have heard something, but no, you don't hear very clearly.
In Fergus's head, right?
Yeah. Huh. He's quasi imaginary, so he can interact with things because he was able to work the forge, and you're able to see him with see invisibility.
Just real enough that it keeps him questioning his sanity.
Pretty much.
Yo, we need to get the fuck out of here. It's time for water to roll downhill, or like reverse rain or something. You'll figure it out.
It seems like the souls had power, the souls of the dead, and that they were kind of harvesting them in some way, perhaps to feed the Queen.
The crawling hand of the Archmage just goes like this.
Yes.
Like when you said souls, he pivoted towards Fereosae and seemed to be really interested in that
It's a
conversation.
harvest. A harvest is the last thing you do in the autumn, and it brings the winter.
I feel like everything got really fucking dark there.
Yes.
It did.
Don't worry, Pixel's just floating around the room. Apparently, any little bit of a draft, she seems to just sort of float on. Don't worry, I'm the bloom of the final autumn.
Wait, final?
Indeed.
Why, if everything is bad...
Maybe we should get the fuck out of here.
Oh, that's what I've been saying!
We need to get that key back so that we can find our way to a place where it's moving from summer to autumn again.
Or to a place beyond these pearls. They seem prone to collapse and manipulation. Can they be the only medium by which one can exist?
There's a thunk as Zephyros plunks down the door. This door... Zephyros always carries this thing. It's always kind of like draped over a backpack. It's not just a door, but it's a frame that is built around a door. And the door has like a latch and a little keyhole, and it's got the JE written or carved atop the top of the door. You don't know why he carries around a framed door, but Zephyros is now presenting the door to you and looking directly at you.
Fergus, if you're going to travel with us, you should be aware of something. We would like you to keep a lookout for this particular effect. I will cast a silent image. If you see this effect, you must inform us immediately, and I will make the door light up with the blue outline as if it's just been activated or deactivated by the key.
Okay, this azure blue magic seems to be bursting from behind the door. It does kind of, as Professor or as Luke described, kind of open up and traverse very quickly around the edges of the door, as well as the crack in the middle, and the blue glow also comes out of the keyhole.
Have I ever seen this before?
It's the same hue of glow that you saw inside of Villa Malavello when you guys first arrived here. That sent everyone crazy, and they went rushing
where it was
into
upstairs or whatever?
Yep.
You see, there is a certain magical item that does this effect. A key.
Oh, I miss Ludo.
Yes, the last known holder of the key was our friend Ludo, who, as you've seen, does not seem to be our friend or even Ludo anymore.
It goes to the best container ever.
Yes, well...
It's a giant hut, and it's got feet.
Yes, the key opens any door to this hut. It is a particularly interesting place. We believe it is the home of a great and powerful witch. The most powerful witch, present company excluded, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I miss Manny, too.
Yes, Mandreas, Ludo's rough and tumble counterpart. I believe he was the owner of a meat store for quite some time, proprietor.
The reason we carry a door is this. The owner of the key can go through any door that they can remember.
And they can go to any door they can remember. Both into, oh yes, of course, into any door to the Nexus, and from the Nexus to any door.
But the Nexus is the homestead of the most evil and powerful hag that seems to exist throughout the universe. She shows up in lore across civilizations, mired beyond compare.
If you see a halfling, a Yondan, and he kind of puts his hand only a few feet off the ground, that has a key around this glow, do not kill him. Capture him.
Right. What if I, kill him first and then bring him back from the dead?
Oh, don't kill Ludo. I know he can't remember anything, but don't kill Ludo.
It's not the preferred solution. Certainly not. Ludo, though, is not himself lately. We, I think, believe, and I'll gesture at Fereosae and Zephyros, that there are two Ludos now, an evil one and a less evil one. The less evil one is, hopefully, still our friend.
Got it. So, beat him into unconsciousness and drag him back here.
If you had, I would say a sturdy bag, but he's too crafty for that. You may have to knock him unconscious, yes, otherwise he would likely escape.
Got it. But, let's say, hypothetically, we find this key, we're not going to go traipsing off and forget about the certain, really important alchemist I have to kill, right?
No,
you guys aren't going to just fuck off.
They're part of this whole thing.
And with the key, we could go and you could remember the door to that one alchemist you really hate's office, go through it and look, it's me, Fergus. I've come back for a checkup.
We have to find this key. This is the most important thing we could be doing right now.
You're up to speed, Ludo.
It's right up there.
Excellent.
We carry the door because if Ludo remembers, and we suspect that he has the key, Zephyros isn't too sure about that. He actually looked to Fereosae for confirmation. They exchange a look, I think.
Well, we think it's his evil shadow counterpart that has the key. The mirror Ludo.
Brought out by...
Which maybe is an aspect of Ludo himself, but we think that the evil one is the one that had the key most recently.
Yes, do we even have a hazard of a guess as to where the other reflection of Ludo still resides?
Do we have ways of finding people? Unfortunately, I think Zephyrus's opposition school, a wizard, is divination. I am not a diviner, but if I were, I would have spells that allow us to locate those we wish to find.
Tell me, Zephyros, how does one of those screw spells function? What would you need, and how would you go about it? Say we had a silver mirror or some scrying device, right? That is the term.
He blinks for a moment, and if he at first looked a little confused. The professor, who is arguably a better scholar than the evoker is.
Now, come now, this is no measuring of wands here. I've simply never attempted the spell. I was hoping for a few pointers.
Oh, does that matter in wizardry? Whose wand is bigger?
In some circles, Macronom, I fear some wizards...
Or is it how noodly your wand is?
It is not the noodling of the wand, but the gyration of the arm that...
Oh, and the weird pseudopods coming out of Macronom. He completely doesn't quite get that you're making an innuendo of a certain nature, although he could be making an innuendo of a certain nature with the weird pseudopods coming out of him. Aberrations are weird.
But you're right, Macronom. We should just try it. Shall we adjourn to the occult parlor for some...
Wait, you have scrying?
Yes, of course. Are we wizards or are we not?
The one that we should scry upon is also the one that has gone missing, who is asking for us. I am concerned with the description of the power of our queen, says Zephyros, as is Bukrabek when I spoke to him.
Yes, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Who should we be scrying upon?
Vencarlo, the man who went missing, the man who was asking for you, the man whose house you went to and got attacked. Did he hit his head? he turns to Fereosae and asks the question.
I mean, probably. that seems likely.
Vencarlo. He lowers his staff and points it at you. Vencarlo.
Sorry. It's been a long day. The memory is not what it used to be. Don't ever get old, ladies and gentlemen. It is the West. Shall we to the occult parlor and look for a Vencarlo?
Okay, I'm making a big procession of this. The professor seems to take great joy in leading everyone up to his kooky, weird occult parlor filled with all sorts of bizarre and grotesque things.
Yes. Now, where was
the summoning circle and the dead demon are still lying where you guys had
yes, so
where you had left it last.
Touch that. We'll just clean that up some other time. Maybe get a unseen servant to see about it. Yes, here it was.
Okay, an unseen servant, by your command, is putting the corpse into a jar, into, like, pickled juice where it belongs.
Oh, thank you, sir. I was just about to summon your cousin to take care of that. Glad to see you've already made work.
Mark down in your character sheet, you have one pickled closet.
One pickled closet?
Yep.
There we go. It's in the occult parlor. Perfect.
Awesome.
I will have like rummaged around in the corner of some junk in the occult parlor, and my hand freezes as it's about to touch Zellara's silver scrying tool, where it is like it's been left kind of uncared for a long time.
Okay. Which was active, I think, while you guys were messing around with questioning the abyss, and I believe Fereosae saw some things in the in the scrying tool. Henry, with your plus 28 knowledge arcana, I'm not even going to make you roll. Zellara's silver glass scrying tool, even though you normally need a mirror, this can also act as a focus for the scry spell.
Hell yeah, I was hoping that was the case because I do not have that mirror. I hesitate to pick it up and say, Fereosae, you still hold her cards, don't you?
I do.
Uh,
I'll take out the deck of cards
Okay.
and just casually flip through it a little bit while we look at the pool.
Yeah, you're not getting any sort of like flair from the cards themselves at this point.
I'll just give the opportunity if she wants to.
Have you heard from the old girl in a while? How is she?
Well, I saw her present some symbols to us in the scrying pool before our adventure to the Red Mantis assassins. It did forewarn of the assassins, so we should pay great attention.
How is her anger? She is a rather wrathful woman when offended, I'll say, kind of trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think she's mad at.
You, mate.
Look, I don't think she's mad at me yet, but I think we need to find her kid.
Not you.
And to find her kid, we need to find the key.
Okay, she seems quiet at this point. She doesn't seem very active. You're not picking up any emotion from the deck of hero cards.
I'll walk back up to the orb and sort of whisper to it, Zellara, are you here, girl?
Okay. She is non-active today. There could be reasons for this. It could be manifesting. Professor, what is your knowledge religion?
I think it's 18.
18?
Yes.
For some spirits, they do expend energy to manifest in the physical realm. So it could just simply that she's manifested recently, that she's not out.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm also, though, very worried about... I've offended her. Even though I don't really think about it, know on some level, I think that I'm an evil man, and I sort of see some retribution in if I could save her child. I lost my brother, who was, I couldn't save him. I feel responsible for his death. I lost myself in a lot of ways. So, like, her being mad at me, the professor is real spooked about it. Also, she gave him a +2 to his int, so you gotta stay on the right side of that.
Right. The crawling claw does go, like, it positions itself looking at you if it had eyes, and then positions itself back towards the towards the scrying sphere, and actually goes and taps it a couple times. Like, tink, tink. There's a little clinking noise. Nothing happens, but it kind of snaps Henry out of his swirl of worry and regret and horrible feelings about these events from the past.
Have quite a few of Vencarlo's personal possessions here. Hopefully that will help a bit.
Oh, is that in the box?
Yes, but I also have a set of his clothing and some family seals and ledgers here.
Oh, that box is a little bit too big for me to turn into. And Makernam, being the aberrant mimic that loves to turn into other containers, turns into a similar looking box.
Let's have a piece of each. Part of his business dealings and part of his secret identity. He's almost like two different people, isn't he?
As I said, I'm no expert on this art of scrying, so if anyone has any pointers...
So you have a scrying spell memorized?
Yeah, so I'll cast an Unseen Servant, and I'll recall a silent image and cast another silent image just to be on the safe side. And for Flare, I'm going to have the silent image be controlled by the crawling hand, so I don't have to focus on it. And it will take the form of a young Henry who will, mimic the unseen servant and reach in and grab the scrying tool and hold it up to old Henry next to him for him to use here.
Okay. So you've got an unseen servant that is looking like a younger Henry holding up the scrying tool. Okay.
Like the boy Henry before it all goes wrong, you know? He's holding the scrying tool up. And I will, I guess, do we have the articles ready? Shall we begin?
Yeah. I'll take out his family seal and place it near the scrying thing, and we can take let's see here. Perhaps the boots from the blackjack set? Something like that?
I'd probably take his blade.
Yeah, that seems good.
Quicksilver. Put
Yeah,
that out there.
Quicksilver. Yeah.
Okay, so his blade and what was the other thing?
His signet ring. Or
Yeah.
you said family seal, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
the seal that you would use on official documents.
Okay, so you go and place those near the scrying sensor. First, Henry, give me a diplomacy check, as you seem to be trying in a weird sort of way to apologize to Zellara. I'm gonna give you a +2 because you're. I'm gonna give you a +4. You're hitting the right chords.
Oh, I've been thinking about this for a while, Marty, trying to figure out how can I angle my way back in with it. +4, here we go. 23.
Okay. Zellara's scrying tool is also going to provide a bonus of +1 to the DC of the scry.
Ooh, alright. Use Zellara.
The possession or garments also provide a +4 to the DC.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't have any body parts, locks of hair, or bits of nails, or any sort of, or you're not presenting any organic material that once belonged to Vencarlo.
Got it, yeah. We have his boots?
Yes.
Are there any, like, I don't know, like, skin flakings? There's a
We
lot
can
of...
check his armor for hair, strands of hair.
We've got a
Okay.
cloak too. If it's a hooded cloak, there might be
Can I
strands.
try
of
and
hair.
make a survival check or a perception check?
Yeah,
to
no,
see-
give me a survival check, as you are now sifting through his things that were kept in a locker for materials that might have belonged to the man.
40.
Give me a D4.
4.
You find what turns out to be, apparently Vencarlo has sort of a rough life. There is dried blood in his armor from what looks like a wound, like it actually looks like there was a puncture in the armor and you could see blood on the inside. And you find a hair, and you find a broken toenail in one of his boots.
Hang on a second. Let me sift through this. All right, here you go. I got some toenails and some hair and some blood. I'm pretty sure I found like literally every piece of him that's left.
Hey, splendid. Thank you. I believe this will help.
Okay, you were able to carefully, using your alchemy, kind of separate these samples into four usable charges. Basically, after you cast the spell, you'll have 3 samples of Vencarlo for future castings. Okay, so are you using the possession or the garment, or are you using the body part or the bit?
Oh, so I have to. Sorry, this is the first time I've ever attempted scrying. I didn't think it was going to happen tonight. I just threw it on.
You use one of the bits.
I'll use a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
instead of the +4 to the DC, it's a +10 to the DC for using the bit. So that's a total of you know the subject, but you don't know the subject well, so that's a wash. A +1 from Zellara and a +10 from the body part, I think, is the total.
Okay. And this is just a D20?
No, this is just give me the DC of the spell, and then he has to make a will save.
Oh, okay. The DC of the spell, just 1 second. It is scrying is divination. It's a 4th circle spell. It should be 25. Could I have known this and increased the DC of the spell when I cast it?
Yeah, can you do that for spells that take an hour to cast?
It's just what is the actual? Oh, it has to be cast before next turn, so I don't think it would.
You've got an hour casting time for the spell.
Got it. Yeah, so it's gonna.
So you learn, and you knew this on a theoretical standpoint, but it feels good verifying it through practice. That connections to the subject you're trying to scry on will vastly increase your chances of success.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, let's begin.
Connections are very important to you because I think that's how people's connection to objects is how you do your psychometry checks.
Yes.
So you would be able to figure out very easily, or more easily than others, whether or not an object belonged or belongs to someone.
Yes, intriguing. Fortune point?
Fortune points happen on rolls, not DCs. So I will allow it this time, but it's normally not how fortune points work.
We're going all in on the scrying here, guys.
But I will increase the DC by 2. This is not going to become a thing, though.
Would that just be like a -2 penalty to their roll?
Yeah, it'll be a -2 to his roll, which is equivalent. So, all right, I'm going to look up his will save. I rolled a die, and I'm going to show you. Normally I roll off screen, but
the poor bastard.
There's no other dice. I'm not playing any DM tricks. There's no other dice around. Okay. All right. It's gonna go that way, huh?
Can you critically fail a scrying check?
All right. There's a bit of mist at first, and Zellara her orb must work differently, or it's the first time you use the spell because the mist starts to spin and you think, like, you're just showing me mist, Zellara. That's not good. I'm actually going to go to a different map to show you something. And the map is called... that might be too... There we go. Actually, I'm not going to use the map because that will tell you where this is. So I'm going to create a new map just on some cobblestones.
Sorry for having the scrying spell there, Marty. I know that kind of threw you. We've never had scrying in this party before. I've never even seen it done in my whole time playing D&D, so I have no idea what really happened.
All right, there's a curious thing. You don't seem to be getting the scrying sensor just sort of opened up The mist cleared, and you're looking down at the lap of an opulently dressed woman. And she has kind of scooped up in one of her hands, like it was like a show puppy dog,
Oh no.
but is actually like a pot-bellied pig. The woman in her other hand seemed to have this really big white mask, and the sensor, you're like, the sensor's 5 feet away from the pig, and you still can't see the woman's head. I think you can hear through scrying, can you not?
I'm trying to speed read through this while we play it out here. If the save fails, you can see and hear the subject and its surroundings, approximately 10 feet in all directions of the subject. If the subject moves, the sensor moves at a speed of up to 150 feet.
You quickly get your bearings, and the seat is truly titanic in size. The woman that is holding this small pot-bellied pig, which is the focus of your scrying spell, has to be at least 20 feet tall, maybe 3,000 to 5,000 pounds. It's hard to tell. The scrying sensor moved a little bit as she shifted. You get a glimpse of her, and she's actually in the middle of a passive conversation with somebody just off to the side of her that you can't quite see because of the fuzziness of the sensor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you speak giant?
I believe so. Let me just double check, but I believe yes. Yes.
What do you make of this production? I was never one for human theater. Yes, he's slipping, isn't he? I think he's excited because he has an intelligent guillotine. Yes. He's a repugnant little man, isn't he? I don't know. He delivers. You can hear singing in the background and some crowds cheering or jeering. From the relaxed nature of this woman holding on to the pot-bellied pig, they seem to be watching something.
Do I recognize like the street area? There's a lot of assuming. I've lived in Station my whole life. I'm sort of affluent. I would have been to like theater districts and stuff. Does this have the feel of like the local station kind of games or theater?
Do you have any ranks in perform?
I believe.
Or knowledge, architecture, and engineering?
Yeah, I have knowledge engineering. Perform? I don't think so.
Oh, he did that last year. Yes, if you say so. The artist, are you going to be able to use him? Of course, he is touched. If you say so. I find his work a bit try hard. He is touched by the Chimera. The Lord of Chimera. He is an agent of chaos. Yes. You can only bottle chaos for so long. He will provide the clues. His dreams will be the key. Around here, there aren't many keys. around here, there are all too many gatekeepers and locks. That is the nature of this place. Do not worry. We shall discover the exit. If you say so, Bahor. Fail me, and my family will not be pleased. I do not enjoy threats. Not a threat. Simply a fact. I would like to visit the dreams of the artist, though. Oh, so you do enjoy his work. Not his work, his affliction. It can be arranged. Good. I'll bring the flowers. You keep him safe. Okay, the knowledge, architecture, engineering, or a perform check from anyone else watching. I'll take the highest roll, the highest bonus.
I'll certainly try a perform check. I've got a few different performs.
Engineering.
This is one of the buildings that was built by the Titans, and then that was fixed up by the countries that came after.
31 on perform wind instruments.
The ladies that are singing in a choir, you know the name of their choir, Fereosae, as a bard, you would know such things. They are called the Hide in Plain Hearing Choir.
Interesting.
They are a miserable, catty bunch of ladies that don't like critics.
They don't like what?
Critics. Matt, your typing is very loud, just as FYI.
I can avoid that.
Between the professor and the Hide in Plain Hearing Choir, you know where this location is. This is the Theater of Grand Station.
Aha!
It is located in the neighborhood called Old Station that is currently on lockdown. The one where Vencarlo's house is and where the halls of somnolence are.
Right.
This is the expensive box that looks down upon the great amphitheater.
Very nice.
The name... give me a knowledge local, either one of you, to see what you know about the theater.
Knowledge local.
Grand Station. If you both have it, you combine it into one, as in when somebody aids the other.
I've got 18 on that.
I've got a plus 17 on that, so take 2 more and make it a plus 20.
27.
In recent years, people of good repute do not go to the Theater of Grand Station because the types of plays and concerts that go on there are grotesque, garish, and very much tragic. You wonder what that place has turned into given the recent events in Grand Station. Plague, zombies, a quarantine, civil unrest, the Queen being in charge. The creature that you're looking at, now this scry only lasts, I think, 10 minutes. The creature you're looking at with your knowledge natures, give me a roll. Unless your bonuses are really, really high.
Plus 18.
Plus 21.
Okay, you don't need, well, 40.
There's a 40.
She is a cloud giant. And with a 40, you know the clan name of the cloud giant. Actually, you know who she is. Her name is Gia Gigantia.
Nice.
And the Gigantias are a clan of cloud giants in the Ether Pearls. Gia Gigantia is their matriarch. And is a feared oracle of no small power.
Oh my. Feared specimen.
Interesting.
When I say no small power, if you just made her a regular woman and the power of her oracle might, she would be legendary.
A legendary oracle.
Yes.
Of the cloud giants. Interesting. I wonder if Vladimir knows of her. She did seem to speak of the dreaming as well.
And then the perception check for...
Ooh, I'm not doing good on this one.
Fereosae, Thurgus. I'm going to say Fereosae is distracted, which is a -4. Because you guys were thinking about knowledges and where things are, which means Thurgus still succeeded with a 34. Thurgus, the creature beside her, you didn't like the way it sounded. Like, it sounded kind of sinister. It leaned in part of the conversation, and there was something wrong with his hand. It was definitely an inherited race, probably a Rakasta or a cat folk. But his hand was inverted. Like, it was upside down. And there's something wrong with its joints. It was like I can't do it, but it's like its palm was up relative to his elbow. And it kind of gestured towards her while it was talking. It seemed to be fanning itself with its other hand, and you could see you're now like looking at its shadow from the daylight that is spilling into this opulent but very ancient-looking seating, and you just caught a glimpse of this creature right here.
Is the scrying spell still active?
Yeah, this is just at the end of the scrying spell.
Okay.
You caught a creature of that guy.
Okay. Oh, you guys notice that guy's hand? He's all like, some sort of Rakasta or something.
Which gentleman was that? I did not see a Rakasta.
I'm pretty sure his name was Bahor.
A cat hand, but reversed, you say?
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell to Fereosae at all?
Knowledge planes.
That seems like something I can do. Planes.
Can I assist her on that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you assist, you said?
Yes.
41 then.
It's a rare creature. They do take the forms even before the inherited races were created. They walk freely sometimes amongst them. They are devils in disguise, known simply as Rakshasa.
Max knows what
Very
those are.
nice.
They are a race of native outsiders, shape changers, and can take as varied and diverse are the inherited races, so too are these creatures and their heads. But there are clues, and one of the clues is the inverted hand.
Nice.
Very curious that one's out in the open and just having conversations and watching a play or a show. Like something's off here. You were not supposed to see Vencarlo the pig?
Baleful Vencarlo.
I think I'll memorize some break enchantment.
It actually has a duration. You can just cast a spell magic.
I'll keep them both.
I'm pretty sure actually it can just be dispelled.
All right, the Jerks Emeritus peeking into things that they should not have seen, hearing things they should not have heard.
Right, so we got a location. You know where this place is. Why don't we just teleport there, pick up a pig, and fuck off?
Oh, we should probably do a little recon first, though.
That's what we just did. We scouted the place out. We know who's there, where it is. We got everything we need to know. Is it Vencarlo or not?
I say we still check out this academy that was ransacked. Our goal is the wand.
Blah, blah, books, blah, blah, school, blah, blah. Okay, Professor.
Then yes, Sturgis, let the record show that we will go to the theater on your request.
Ah, yes, that sounds like a delightful way to pass an evening.
Wait a minute. That's not what I said.
Yes, you just suggested we get to the theater as soon as possible.
Oh, God, fucking damn it.
We actually have quite a few belongings of one Ludo around here as well. Do you think maybe in the morning we could take another look into that ball?
As long as Zellara will have us, I'll say as I nod to Fereosae, and the child adjuster goes like,
I think this one is very much in line with her goals. Getting us back into that hut is a priority. Although, if push came to shove, there might be a well in the woods where the satyr live.
Yes. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. We have an occult parlor with a scrying tool, after all. We should use them.
Yes, indeed. Now, we can't be quite sure which Ludo's things are which, but we might be able to find places where Ludo frequented in the house that his evil twin would be less likely to spend time at.
We have some of Ludo's possessions here. Do we think he was evil at this point?
Well, I think that the one that's walking around with the key and making potions is the evil one.
Very true. Wait. He was just here a week ago. We have some of his half-made potions.
Yes, that one's the evil one, and honestly, finding and scrying on either of them would be interesting. The evil one, I think, is the one with the key, or, well, maybe it's the good one with the key. Regardless, it has the key.
Why can't you just scry the key?
Oh, the key is an artifact of great power. It's not visible to mundane magical effects. It just looks like a normal key. You can't even see the magic on it. It's that powerful.
Mundane? Up until an hour ago, no one here would even do a scrying spell. Now it's mundane.
Oh, that was so 5 minutes ago.
The passing of time, Professor.
Bored now.
He's like,
but yes, those potions and any hairs around there are most likely the perfect thing to help find that key, because that's the Ludo with the key.
Yes, well.
The Ludo without the key, though, was at the Fighting Academy. The Orzini Fighting Academy.
Can I search Ludo's room for, like, hairs or fibers or anything like that?
Yeah, where are you going?
I think they had described it to me. Sorry, I gotta switch maps again.
The room would be good. The lab might also be a good place to look.
Yeah.
The room is... Ludo's
lounge?
Even cleaning things. There is going to be hair from Ludo and Manny, like, all over this place.
Yeah, you end up...
How would I know? Yeah, okay. Question would be which one's which. So.
Yeah, you do see what what effectively was a well lived in for a month or two bachelor pad where a human and a halfling hung out. Give me what are you're specifically looking for? Hair, okay?
Yeah, if I could differentiate between the two, like if one's like curly, coarse halfling foot fur or something like that versus
Yep.
like actual human hair, right? I don't know if one of them was like dark haired, one of them was blonde haired or something like that, but would that be another survival check?
That would be another survival. Yeah.
29.
You do find some blondish hair, and you find some brownish hair that are of different coarseness.
Okay. I'll go back to the professor. Was that guy you're looking for, was he like blonde or like brunette?
He always had a helmet on. Did anyone see him without the damned helmet on?
Yeah, Ludo had blonde hair. We'll say
Blonde. I believe
dirty brown.
I'll look to Fereosae. Did he have blonde hair or brunette hair? I'm not confident the professor remembers anything.
The blonde is Ludo. Yes, that one. That one's Mandreas.
And save this for later.
Yes, well, I only
sure.
Scrying spell.
It was all over the place. You found at least six blonde samples and 4 brunette samples.
Let me pocket those. Shall we also check the lab? I think we want to find the one with the key, and this one might be the one with the key, but it might be the one at the Fighting Academy.
Sure.
Which might not be the same one.
I'll head over to the alchemy lab.
Okay, the alchemy lab is not the lab that belongs to whoever's mess was in this other room. It's neat, it's tidy, everything is clean. You do see that one potion looked like there's one thing that bubbled over and that has hardened. You remember from when you came through here that one seemed to have been in the middle of some alchemical process.
Okay. I'll kind of note that one. I want to search the room, see if he like burned himself or anything like that. Maybe there was like some bandages or like some sort of cloths or anything like that he might have tended to. Check like some waste paper baskets or stuff like that.
Okay, one more survival.
36.
You find a few beakers that were kind of in a dish that gave you the idea that they were where you clean, kind of like a wash basin.
Mm-hmm.
The water has mostly evaporated. Unfortunately, a lot of the traces of the water or of the that were on the beakers has also gone, except for one piece of glass that was hovering above the edge of the water, and you see a thumbprint on a vial, and you're pretty sure the thumbprint is a halfling's thumbprint.
Okay, I don't touch it.
Okay.
I go back. Right. I found something, but like I don't trust myself not to screw it up. Could someone with like one of those levitating major hand things go and pick it up?
I suppose that would be me.
And then I'll escort the professor over there. I'll point it out to him and like, be very careful.
Yeah, I think the crawling hand has to stay on my shoulder and the illusion has to follow me with the unseen servant or else it all disappears. So they follow in tow, and then I guess I'll do an alchemy check to try and hold on to
You
this.
could probably just cast Mage Hand. I'm like, I just need a cantrip here.
Yes, well, maybe we should put that...
If you like, I can also do that. I have finer motor skills, perhaps.
Thank you. My hands are a bit full at the moment.
Oh, did we find Ludo? Mockernum comes.
I think this is fake Ludo. I'll mage hand and carefully pinch the opposite side of the lip of the vial and lift it up out of the water.
Yeah, give me a dex check.
Sounds good. I consider myself dexterous. I'm not really, though.
Yeah,
13.
it's a simple task.
Yeah.
You have the item in your mage hand.
I'll carefully set it down on the counter.
Okay, it is now sitting on like a tea cloth.
Excellent. Now we could potentially use that in scrying. In the morning, yes?
Yes.
You don't have another of those, and I don't have one, but I could get one in the morning.
Oh.
Capital.
Do you think the giant lady with the pig is still going to be there in the morning?
I believe she is a frequent of the.
Today is the evening of when we came back?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe not. She might have moved along.
Oh, okay.
But it is somewhat late.
We could always scry on Pig Vencarlo tomorrow, too.
Yes. Yes, we can.
He's called Pig Carlo now. Or Ven Oinker.
Yes. Vencarlo Oinklazini?
Ah, yes, it's a good one.
Yes. Porcazini.
Oh, I like that.
All right. Yeah. We also don't have any teleports right now, so we'd have to walk.
Yes.
Or take a carriage.
Shall we go to bed then? Or whatever. I guess I don't go to sleep too much anymore with this ring.
Yeah, you guys can rest if you want to.
I go up to the roof. I can't cast Keep Watch.
Okay. I'm just going to return folks to their little domiciles here.
I mean, I'll spend the night reading. I guess since I have this ring of sustenance now, I'm gonna spend while people are sleeping just time reading in the library, studies. Sometimes from one thing to another. Sometimes focus it in on very specific matters of inquiry, but just really always be reading.
Huh? You probably shouldn't go into the dream realm.
What is that?
Oh. You're strong out here.
Ah.
Well, it's a good thing I don't really sleep.
Vladimir's likely to be able to practice too if we need it. Professor, while you're not busy, perhaps we can make a few edits. What do you think?
Yes, that may be a wise course of action. If you're willing, of course. Fereosae, you have a flair for the dramatic. I know I'll be in good hands.
I'd be delighted.
Okay, Thurgus,
Professor.
when you were leaving the occult parlor, you noticed that Fereosae was lingering behind to make some edits, and they're waving their hands around. You don't know what that means.
You guys need my help?
I think
No, I don't think so. We appreciate your watchful eyes, though. The forest is full of fairies. Some weal and some woe to us. Look
Got
out
it.
for the satyrs.
All right, I'll keep watch.
What
And I'll-
do you think she's doing?
I'm gonna ignore Sinclair
What is she going to do?
and wait for Thurgus to leave the room.
Do not let that witch lay hands upon you, fool.
Henry, think about that time at dinner. It's a painful time, but let's get back to it and find the right pieces to modify, shall we?
You're going to make yourself weak.
Yes, please. It's getting unbearable, Fereosae. I can't keep it.
Tell me about it, just briefly.
How are you
Remember,
going to
go
prove?
back.
How are you going to prove yourself to your grandfather if you cannot remember?
I was inside the house. I remember
Yes.
Sinclair had been loud that day in my head. Back in there,
Sinclair.
seeing them there seated around the table, offered the food and drink, powerless to resist it all, knowing,
Yes.
somehow knowing.
You and your daughters. And the food was human flesh, wasn't it?
At the time, I had to believe it was something else, but I know.
You know what it was. You know who it was, don't you?
Humanity has been around for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands. You don't think that the first humans ate flesh of others?
Please,
I cast modified.
It is a birth! It is a ritual! It is a family! It is a family way of passage, you idiot! Don't forget this!
Professor, you're seated at the table. Across from you, to the side, are both of your daughters. They are charmed, looking at the food, thinking about eating it. The Baron watches over you. It looks delicious, the food, but you're powerful and you see through the illusion. The meat is cut from plague-infested rats. You distract your daughters and Archminos, and the crawling claw sweeps the food onto your plate. You steel yourself and eat the rat meat, heroically risking the blood veil and buying time for the ambush of the Baron.
it had to be done. Someone had to stand up and do it.
Yes, good job, Professor. Good job.
No! No! Are you resisting the modify memory that I think is being cast? Is that what I'm...
Oh yeah, it's a modified memory, yes.
Yeah,
That's a good point. You can resist
I
it.
paid for this to happen. I bought the spell and asked a friend to hook a brother up.
Okay, you don't know why Sinclair is yelling and stamping around in your head. The horrible memory of you being tricked into eating your estranged wife's flesh at the behest of Baron Archminos
Yes.
turns into a milder version of that story. Sinclair just simply is seething in a corner and says, "Don't worry, Henry. I'll remember for you."
I will move engaged in cannibalism one wife from the evil things done remembered column on my character sheet. Evil things done forgotten column. Thank you, Fereosae.
Yes, also put in parentheses by that it's a modify memory spell.
Yes.
Yeah, that's permanent but dispellable. Right, it is a spell.
Wait, what level is it?
Fourth bard, fifth, something like that.
Bard 4.
That's really important if you get hit with a greater dispel magic in the middle of combat. Keep that in mind because it's a permanent spell effect. And greater dispel magic goes from top down.
Permanent enchantment mind affecting. Yeah, it's not instantaneous, it's permanent.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind because that might get dispelled in combat.
Instead of one of your combat spells, right?
Sure.
I have a mental breakdown.
Oh god, this is going to be great. Oh my gosh. I remember that I did tie my shoe this morning. All of a sudden,
You know,
it's still
I'm
invisible.
gonna probably have to, like, it's like, Marty, I cast modify memory 100 times on me so no one can ever dispel my
third level and below.
third level or below spells.
Doesn't it replace the previous casting?
I think in a combat, I'm going to say it'll act like a buffer once.
Yeah, I would assume you can only have one active at a time because usually you can only get the benefits of a spell once. And so if you modify your memory, you just forget another thing, but it's under the same spell.
So it continues to add memories that you've forgotten, but it's still
I don't
modify memory effect.
I'd have to look at it, but like I would
be
assume
reasonable.
that you could only do it once. Otherwise, that would be broken.
I would allow multiple times. I think as a buffer versus dispel magic, only one would be active in a given period. But yeah,
Professor, one more.
If you have it in you, I would appreciate it. It seems he's gotten quieter.
keep the witch away. Keep her away.
Professor, think back. Think back to the time that you placed that soul gem in the circle. Think just before it. What were you thinking when you were ready to sacrifice whatever was inside?
Don't be an idiot. Don't let her destroy this memory as well.
It was just some esoteric creatures, some lost, forgotten artifact.
Grandfather's footsteps.
Probably the realm would be better off if this thing didn't exist anymore, and the house needed to be fed. It must be done.
And you placed it in the circle, and what happened? What was it really?
It was her. It was my mother. Wretched creature though she may have been, she was my mother. Did she deserve?
Modify memory.
Okay.
Reach in. You're standing there before the circle. You've got the gem. You peer into it. And in the depths of the gem, you see a beautiful and sad fairy. It looks like it's been trapped for decades by the cruel necromancer. She meets your gaze with deep pools of sadness and mouths. End this. You look to the doorway and see Fereosae and say, a powerful fairy is trapped in there, suffering. If we sacrifice her soul, we'll survive. Fereosae says, do it, but you owe me. You nod and place the gem in the circle, and the nameless fairy is sucked into oblivion.
A weight is lifted off your shoulders. Sinclair is receding, but he hisses like a snake. Lies. You're not sure exactly what Fereosae did. You've got tears streaming down your cheeks, but you don't know why. And
it was a tough choice, Professor, but we did what we had to do.
It was a dark day, but we survived, and that's what was important.
Yes.
We will do greater good, having lived to fight another day, I'm sure of it. Today, the scrying, Zellara's favor, it only proves that.
Indeed. That'll be enough for now, I think. It is tiring for us both, I think.
Yes, thank you. You have done a great service for an old man. Thank you.
Helping you remember is something that fairies are good at.
Yes, to remember is to be in control, to live again.
Indeed. You're stronger for it, Professor.
Yes. I will move sacrificed human soul, 1x mother, to renew trifold pact into the evil things done forgotten power.
with the brackets of modify memory.
I should probably still keep the made blood offering of 1x pinky as part of that.
Yes, you remember that, and I would also, you probably should write down Fereosae's caster level for those modify memories. She's caster level 10, I believe, right? Or 9?
Yeah, we're 10th level now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, the walls we build, the lies we tell ourselves and to each other.
Thank you so much for doing that. Oh my god. That helped so
You're
much.
welcome. Yeah, that was fun too.
Well played with the you owe me one.
that was my favorite part.
So good.
I was wondering how you would try and exploit being in the mine for the.
Yeah. We got to get a little in there.
All right. The night passes. Morning comes. Thurgus is given prayer to the blood bearer, and seems to be ready for a fight. Ready and itching.
He comes inside when the sun comes up.
Ah, good.
Nice. The J.E. Emeritus the Jerks Emeritus seem to congregate in the morning around the kitchen where the coffee is doled out.
Ah, I remember this place. Back when they were cooking children in the oven.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dark times, but we took care of those folks, didn't we?
Oh, how the times have changed.
Poisoned the body even, but they wouldn't take that to the master. We just had to finish them off ourselves. Anyway, welcome to our cursed house again, Thurgus. How did you rest?
Oh, I don't sleep anymore.
Oh,
Like at all.
convenient.
I keep my eyes open forever.
Very nice. All right.
I have to meet with Bukerbeck today. I have some things to discuss with him.
Good. Don't let too much slip about his wooden friend.
Zephyrus, you notice, with his trunk absent-mindedly, kind of was playing with some prayer beads. You know that Zephyrus is a follower of Bamba Damba Damba.
Well, you will miss a good deal of the excitement, I'm afraid, but carry on.
You also catch a glimpse of Zephyrus. It seems to be wearing a new amulet. Is it an amulet or a thing on his staff? I forget what the amethyst piece was.
Do you guys have any objection to me taking the blackjack's belt?
Oh, no. I mean, I feel like anything that we can use, it'd be silly not to use it. If we find someone who'd make a good blackjack, we might want to give them the whole set. But that seems like a good one.
Yeah,
I could squeeze out an extra point of dex.
That sounds good to me.
Because when I'm enlarged, I'll actually take full advantage of it. Because I got on a +2, I'll go up to +4. That'll cap me out on Mithril full plate. So I'll hang on to that. I'll put my belt of giant strength back in the pool.
I totally forget what his token was that bound him to the spellcrux.
You know, I can't remember either. Like, he took a gem of some sort, but I can't remember what he did with it.
Yeah.
We'll have to
check the tape.
Review the tape.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, Zephyrus just gives you a nod. Do any of you want a teleport into the city?
Yes, please. But first, could we take a brief look and see where we think Ludo is?
Which one?
The one that has the key.
The eviler one.
We could do that later tonight, too. That would be fine.
I do have a scry prepared if you would like, of course.
I guess to some extent we're asking, where are we going? Are we going to talk to Vladimir to figure out where this cloud giant lives so that we can abscond with her porcine companion?
Yes, or to pick amongst the ashes of the Orsini Academy, looking for
clues. perhaps?
The academy was a well-known refuge of martial arts. No doubt it will have magical items. Perhaps they were overlooked.
We go to the
Perhaps.
theater and pick up the trail there.
Yes, the theater does
The
seem
theater would certainly work.
logical. Yes.
I have business with the Arcanacrum and need to speak to Bukrabek.
Okay, well, the theater is in the closed-off part of town.
Yes, and I'll be going in the opposite direction on the plateau.
Ah, excellent. But the teleportation into it would be quite valuable then. Thurgus, you are our best finder of things. Where do you reckon we would be best? Where would our skills be best applied? Do you think?
Didn't we say that the key was the most important thing? Shouldn't we scry him first?
Oh, Ludo!
Yeah. That's like the most important thing possible. We should try and exhaust that first.
I think that seems good.
And
Yes, that's-
if we don't get anything, like I say, he's in a small dark room or something like that, then we scry the pig and we heist the pig. That's my vote. We have a pig heist.
Excellent.
Yes,
That's
A pig napping!
Yeah.
Oh,
Zephyrus, do you have 2 hours?
I do.
Excellent. Let us peer into the mists first, shall we?
Very well.
I will go and fetch the glass vial
Okay.
and the potion that's sort of calcified.
Pixel grabs Zellara's scrying stone and brings it downstairs.
Excellent. Let's loosen up, everyone, and peer into the mists. I've got Zellara's robes on that I got from the professor.
Nice.
I'll take out the deck of cards and set it down in between the potion and the vial with the fingerprint,
Okay.
and the scrying orb just beyond that.
hell yeah.
And I'll start casting scrying, which I also know.
Fereosae knows this spell as well. You guys are insane. All right.
That was in the stone pike, I think. Yeah, it was in the stone pike. Yeah.
All right. So you're using Zellara, who you are in good standing with. You're using her item, and is this a bit? You know what? I'm gonna say fingerprints are like locks of hairs or bits of nails. It's pretty individualistic. A -10 seems appropriate, so that's a total of a -12
Yeah.
for you.
And this Ludo I don't know as well, so I know exactly what he looks like.
Have you ever met him?
No, not that I know of.
So you've heard of the subject, which is a +5. That's a net of -7. All right. You feel confident about the spell, Fereosae. The fingerprint does burn up and disappear from the glass. There's a swirl as Zellara seems to be much more responsive to Fereosae's calls to look for Ludo. It then settles down, and there's just this mist, and behind the mist there seems to be darkness. No vision appears.
Does it seem to be centered in a place?
It is a dark, foggy mass. Your low light vision does not pierce. You hear no sounds coming from the scrying tool.
I do have Merc sight as well, so magical fog, normal fogs I see right through. Magical fogs I see through 10 feet of. But I definitely don't have dark vision.
Your Merc sight does not penetrate this.
Shielded from our view, I think. In a place that's shielded from our view. Perhaps a private sanctum. Something like that.
Fereosae, you're pretty sure Henry and Zephyros, wherever this facsimile of Ludo is, whether he's the real one or some fake one or whomever the fingerprint belonged, that person is shielded, and the mage's private sanctum spell, you are now seeing the unfortunate result when these two spells interact.
Damn!
Yeah. We know where one private sanctum exists, but this is a city with many mages, so there could be many available. That said, that's where he is now.
Oh, he's all in the dark all alone?
We don't know where he is or who's with him. But we do know that the sanctum with the bell is shielded in that way.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go after the pig then?
Yep.
I think it's pig time. Professor, do you want to scry on our winking friend?
Yes, let's give it a whirl. I believe we had 3 more samples from this Vencarlo gentleman.
Yes, Zephyros, take a close look. We may be able to zap there pretty directly. If we see something clearly.
Zephyros leans in and narrows his eyes, focusing on the sphere.
I will cast scrying.
Okay, just a naked scry this time. What compound are you using? What connection to Vencarlo?
We had, 3 things left over. We used the blood. I think we had some hair we could use.
Okay. So another sample of Vencarlo gone. The sample burns up. You see the mist swirling very quickly. It's not quite as responsive as it was to Fereosae, but still adding to the spell. At least Zellara is helping. The swirling begins to slow down, and there is a dark barrier, a foggy mass behind the mist that is keeping you from seeing.
Perhaps it's the same fog, Professor.
Could it be simply a coincidence? It seems a stretch.
It's a city of mages. It could be coincidence, but we should be prepared to meet our old friend Ludo in his evil form.
I think
Along
we should
with
go to
our-
the theater and look for clues.
I think you're right.
I think it's on the other side of those railroad tracks.
I can bring 3 people with me, says Zephyros. Familiar is not included.
That should be fine. The 3 of us.
Oh, does that mean I can't go?
I'm afraid so, Macronam.
Okay, if you see Ludo, don't kill him. He's nice.
All right.
He's actually saying this to Thurgus. Everyone's worried that Thurgus is gonna kill Ludo.
I've got it, okay? Look,
Okay.
in my defense, I'm not the one running around sacrificing people's souls.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I'll stay here and practice my shapes and guard the villa.
Sounds good.
I did not take a break enchantment with me, so we're going to need to escape with the pig, which is totally doable. I have some teleports.
Remember, the polymorphed pigs are for keeping and not for eating.
I'll keep it in mind.
Well,
No, you. You hear Sinclair for some reason. It says, "No, you won't." You don't know what that meant.
no, I won't. Anyway, shall we be going?
Yes.
Do we need to do anything to prepare? We are walking into dangerous territory.
Let's see. There are 3 of us. Yes, let's cast a few spells first. I will cast on Thurgus, myself, and the professor. Delay poison. I will cast Life Bubble and give let's put Pixel in it as well. 5. Let's give 4 hours apiece to me, Thurgus, the professor, Pixel, and the Crawling Claw.
Thank you.
Do we expect problems when we get to the theater?
Not immediately, but I don't know that we can stay out of trouble for the whole afternoon.
I have never been to that structure. I've only seen it through your scrying spell. Professor, do you want to give me a D6? And Fereosae, give me a D6. Unfortunately, Thurgus, you're completely new to this place. I don't know why you would have gone to the theater.
1.
Okay, Fereosae, you're familiar with this place?
I've been there.
Professor, you've been there once.
Once for me.
Yes, it's a place of the arts, and I am a bit of an artist. I've
You
been
perhaps
there more than once.
tried. You're not a really great singer. At least you weren't when you really started out, right? Okay,
No.
I think you tried to become one of the... like, you tried out for some singing and ended up being chastised by that choir and
That
sent on your way.
ridiculous, talentless hack of a choir doesn't know talent when they see it.
You're convinced that their poor singing as individuals is hidden in the mass that is the 20 or 30 ladies that make up that choir.
They're each bad, but somehow together they sound decent.
Yeah.
I could outsing any one of them. Sing them right off the edge. Right off the edge and down into the city to...
Well,
But,
this place takes their singing very seriously.
I prefer the pipes anyhow. It's their loss.
Yes, and the talent you have for it. If we see any of them, perhaps we will give them a taste of our minds.
Yes. I don't think I've memorized enough curses today. We'll have to come back.
What was the duration on Life Bubble?
4 hours.
And Delay Poison?
10 hours.
Thank you.
Unless it's got a max.
I'm just updating. Oh, should I not be updating this token, Marty? Should I be waiting until we get moved to maps?
No, you guys can update and I'll cut and paste. You're on Villa Malavella in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let me know when you're moving stuff.
Yep.
I'm putting some 10 minutes per level buffs up.
So, Fereosae, you have an idea of the layout of the theater. I'm going to share a image with you. how should I do this? I'm going to do this via OneNote. Under campaign world, we're going to go Theater of Grand Station. And ploop a map. I don't know if you're teleporting using Zephyrus or if somebody else is teleporting the group.
I thought Zephyrus was. I thought we were jumping on with him.
Yep. So
I'm good with that.
Let's hope we don't miss.
Well, we can teleport to someplace near the theater if we need to. I can tell you all about how the inside is laid out, though.
Zephyrus, your call. You are the wizard with the spell.
do you see this this big building kind of at the southern part?
Yeah.
The
structure
southwestern part?
sort of overlooking the amphitheater.
Yeah, the cloud giant was probably sitting in a seat that was probably during better times like a box seat for leaders or important people looking down upon the amphitheater. That's probably where Zephyrus will teleport you if he's successful.
All right.
You had heard a crowd there at least yesterday, and singing. So you are familiar enough that you could probably teleport into the stands, into one of the entrances that are public entrances, and you were probably actually on stage as well. So anywhere in that main area, you could probably teleport into.
I could teleport us into the main rooms, the normal seating, onto the stage, to the entrances, with almost perfection. But the boxes is where the pig was, and the scrying is technically a better view of it than I ever got from the bleachers.
Unfortunately, if you teleport me, less people can go.
Yes,
Well, yes, that's true.
Be fine. I mean, it is the middle of the day.
If I do the teleport, Zephyrus, I would assume that you would just teleport yourself to wherever you need to go. If you wish to teleport us, you're certainly welcome to.
I will.
But yes.
To the box, then.
To the box.
And then you could dimension door down to the street, I suppose, if you wish.
Very well. Are we ready to go?
I believe so.
I believe so.
Okay. If you guys stop editing your tokens, I'll move them to a different map. As is tradition in Pathfinder 2, when you reach a certain level, you put up 30 spells before danger.
It's not that bad today. It's only 10 minutes per level buffs.
Okay.
But I did do See and Biz, Discovery Torch, Stone Skin. I think there's another 10 minutes per level buff in there. Oh, Heightened Awareness.
Leaving Amakranon behind, let us see the result of Zephyrus' teleport. 61, I believe, is on target.
I think so.
For a place you have seen once. Viewed once. 76. Yep, you appear on target. And I'm going to start explaining what you're seeing. Feel free to poke around because most of this is visible.
What map are we on?
I'll force you guys there in a moment. The place is packed. Well, not every seat, but there are a couple hundred people in this gigantic amphitheater.
Oh, shit. We should probably check the schedule.
There's a very, very... let's start describing things. There's a very, very tired man in this really, really gaudy pink chair. He is wearing a crown and seems to be half sleeping. You notice tied with manacles to the chair is an artist that you visited before at the...
Nice.
what was it called? The Magnolia residence. This is Zebediah Geed, who was the owner and patron to a bunch of artists and free spirits at the Magnolia residence. For whatever reason, he is tied to this dude's chair up on stage. The most concerning thing... well, actually, there are several concerning things. One is the floating orb with eye stalks that seems to be part of some sort of play where there is a baritone of a man that is offering the beholder flowers and is professing his love for the beholder. There are these little sprites that are running around in clown costumes that are moving too fast. I'm saying about 4 times the speed of men. And they're zipping around the stage. These are the jesterlings. There are others called the Old Station Bards that you recognize. For some reason, none of the bards are showing the happy face of comedy, and all of them seem to be wearing the unhappy, frowny face of tragedy. You do see the hide in plain hearing choir off to the side. The ladies look very tired. Off to another side, you can see what looks like a self-animated guillotine that looks like it's getting ready or being very ornery or excited that a man is being placed into the receiving position of the guillotine itself. It looks like a small gnome wielding a glaive on his back, or actually wielding a glaive in his hand, is poking at these weird gangle creatures that are in half-ass clown costumes that seem to be roughhousing what look like peasants that are tied up. From your vantage point, you do see a headless corpse pile, maybe 3 or 4 corpses. There are a bunch of pigs that are just rooting around in the pit, if you will, the pit of the theater, or right in front of the stage itself. And a very tired group of people that are half sleeping, half having breakfast, a rabble that look like they have camped out in the theater. We're going to call them the Angry Mob. You appear, and there's a moment that goes by when no one notices that you're here. There is a gargantuan seat, a seat for a huge creature, several seats for large creatures, and then in and around those really old stone seats, some of them crumbling, are much more maneuverable and temporary wicker seating for other people. This place has the look that no one has scrubbed a stair or a step in this theater in a very long time. Creeping vines have begun to eat away at the edges of the ancient frescoes that have been bleached with age and cracked. This place was once a great seat of the arts in Grand Station and was built upon an amphitheater that likely had ancient philosophers or even priests that would give sermons and servants of maybe even as far back as the Titans. It is a ruin that was built upon or restored that has now fallen into, we'll just call disrepair.
Do we recognize?
Oh, my love for you, let me count the waves. There's a man on the stage that is just singing some love song to a floating aberrant thing. that is wearing lipstick and is very feminine in its makeup.
If I do a knowledge history, do I know if this is part of any production that I am familiar with?
So you kind of walk to the edge and you gawk for a moment and you're listening. So knowledge history, sure.
37. Does it seem to be like Hamlet or anything?
This is
Or a new work? Bertram the Bedazzled. His Beholder era.
This play never was this literal. It was called The Eye of the Beholder.
It's probably some love story about beauties in the eye of the beholder, but
Yes, it is definitely that theme throughout the play, but apparently they found a beholder to be on stage.
yes. And the main character guy is in love with her singing this romantic song to her. Bertram the Bedazzled.
Yep. All right. What? Okay, so the Professor Invisible wanders to the edge and goes, "What are they playing?" What is Thurgus doing in the first few moments that you arrive? There's no giant woman. There's no backward hand Rakasta thing. There's no pig up here. Like all the people seem to have gone.
Yeah, I'd keep one eye on the professor and then one eye on the throne and try and like just I want to look for clues, maybe see if there's. I'm assuming with how big she is, she probably leaves some indication of which direction she went.
Yeah, give me a survival check as well. The professor's like, "What play is this?" You're looking around at giant tracks.
Yep. 32.
She was accompanied by two large giants, maybe only about 10 feet tall. They had wrappings for footwear. You're pretty sure that they both carried like bags of rocks. You could see where they put down their bags of rocks and then pick them back up again. The the strange man with the inverted arms was wearing sandals. There was a pig up here. They let the pig down a little bit. The pig tracks are between where the woman was sitting and where the man with the backward hands was. Like it was set down, maybe picked back up.
And I suspect his name to be Bahor, right?
That's what you heard.
Okay.
There is another set of tracks that is really weird, and it's like somebody was half dragged up here and then just wandered around and collapsed into a heap. So you kind of follow this weird set of tracks. It otherwise looks like a thin man or a woman's tracks.
With my scent, can I indicate any sort of like alcohol? Maybe like does it reek of like this person was drunk or?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. What is Fereosae doing in the first moments after teleportation arrival?
Zephyros, it looks a little bit crowded. Maybe the bear should be invisible before you jet off to your thing. And I'll cast invisibility on myself.
Maybe I should stay. Zephyros. You might need my fireballs. So Zephyros, who before he came here, seeing that you guys had were expecting trouble, I imagine simple things like mage armor and shield were cast. So I'll just put that on his token.
That makes sense.
he has invisibility, right?
Yeah, he's cast invisibility before. If we're bringing familiars along, Pixel is going to, if I'm not mistaken, Pixel can turn into a small tree. And so she will for the moment.
Okay, she finds a little crack in the ground and little tiny roots begin to wiggle into a crack where there's a little bit of earth, and she's a little tree